Okay, so the aim today is to do a shorter warm up so that there's time for other things. So, starting off comfortably in your seat, sit bones in the chair, feet on the floor, nice tall spine. And we'll just take a few breaths here as we settle in. Hands can rest down on your thighs, palms down to feel a little more stable. And as you breathe, just do a quick check in, a quick scan of your body. Notice if there's any obvious tension anywhere right away that you can soften. Or maybe the shoulders can get just a little softer. Maybe the neck can release some tension. Notice how you're holding your jaw, your forehead. And then take a few deep inhales, aiming to fill the whole torso. So aiming the breath low in your belly, then also filling up the ribs and the chest. And then emptying all of those areas as well as you exhale. About twice more, filling deep, bringing the breath all the way up. And then emptying all the way down. One more full breath cycle like that. And then we'll make our way to moving into the neck a little bit. So let's start with some neck circles, just drawing circles with your nose, starting to get into the neck a little bit. Your circles can be quite small or they can get bigger. They can be really slow, going at your own pace. And then switching directions. Bringing your head back to center when you feel about balanced. And we'll nod the head just a couple of times. You can coordinate with your breath, exhaling to lower, inhaling to lift. Maybe 2 or 3 breath cycles. The next time you feel balanced, let your head come back to center again. And then we'll change directions, turning to look over one shoulder, and then back to center. And then over the other shoulder, and back to center. Moving with your breath if you like, exhaling over one shoulder. Inhaling back to center when you're ready. And then when you feel that you're balanced on both sides, make your way back to center again. Give yourself a moment, pause, check in on the neck. And then let's move into the shoulders. Rolling the shoulders in whichever direction feels more natural for you. And then rolling the shoulders the other way. And pausing, giving yourself a couple of shrugs. Inhale the shoulders up towards the ears. Exhale to release them. It can be a big sigh or all at once. It can be slow or fast. Another time, inhaling up. Exhale to release. One more good one. Inhaling up. Exhaling to release. And pause. Let's stretch out the arms. We'll get into the elbows a little bit. Arms facing or palms facing up. And as you exhale, bring the fingertips towards the shoulders. And stretch the arms apart again. And then we'll stretch the arms forward the next time the arms are stretched. And then sweep the arms out to the side one more time. Imagine you're holding doorknobs in your hands, round doorknobs. Turn the doorknobs forward. And then turn the doorknobs backwards. You might exhale to roll forwards. Inhale to roll backwards. One more breath cycle, rolling and rolling the other way. And then release the arms. Pause for a moment. You can shrug the shoulders or wiggle them a little bit. Notice how you feel. Getting down into the wrists and the hands. Let's find some wrist circles. And then switch directions. Shake out the hands, shake out the wrists. Just stretching into the fingers a little bit. We'll interlace the hands. And then notice what your habit is. Then we're going to switch it up. So open up the fingers where they are, interlaced. And then we'll switch. So the other hand is in front, interlacing the opposite way. Then stretch your fingers. You can stretch them forward or you can stretch up, whatever feels good. But we're aiming to stretch into the fingers and the palms. So if bringing the hands overhead brings any pain to your shoulders, then focus just on the hand stretch. If it feels good for the shoulders, by all means, you can bring the hands up. Choose your variation. Then let your hands come back towards you again. And now we'll switch. We'll go back to your usual interlace, whichever one feels more natural. And then again, we'll stretch the fingers forward, stretch into the palms. If you want to, you can reach overhead as long as it feels okay for shoulders and for the hands and the fingers. And then bring the hands back towards you. Shake out the hands, shake out the fingers. Okay, getting into the spine. Find a gentle twist first. So set yourself up in your tall seat. Make sure your feet are stable on the ground. Hands can start off on your knees. Take a nice deep inhale, stretch the spine up. And as you exhale, turn the shoulders towards the right side. You can walk your hands along your leg if you like. You might look over the back shoulder. Take a deep inhale here. And let the exhale go. Unwinding back to center when you're ready. Pause for a moment. And then we'll set up to go to the left side. Inhale, nice tall inhale, and then exhale, turn the shoulders towards the left. And walk your hands along the thigh. Full breath cycle here. Deep inhale. Full exhale. And unwind when you're ready. For our side bend, you can find your variation. We'll be tipping to one side. Hands can stay on the waist, or you can always use one arm or both arms to direct the movement. So choosing where you want to be, I'll start off with hands on the waist. Again, take a nice big inhale. And as you exhale, start to tip over or bend over towards the right side. Keep the left side really heavy. So your hands can be on your waist or overhead, or one hand on your waist, one reaching. Come all the way back up again. Release the arms. Pause. Set yourself up again. Big inhale, stretch the spine up. As you exhale, we're tipping over to the left. This time keeping the right side really heavy. Hands can stay on the waist, or one can reach, or maybe you're using both arms to reach. Inhale back up when you're ready. Release the hands. Just pause for a moment. Give yourself the space to check in. And then we'll arch and round the back, stretching the front of the body, and then stretching the back of the body. For the purposes of this recording, I'm going to turn so you can see what I'm doing more clearly. So we'll stretch into the front of the body first. Hands can stay on your lap or be towards your knees. But with an inhale, stretch the belly, stretch the chest. You might think about pulling the shoulder blades together or drawing the shoulders back, maybe the head lifts. And then as we exhale, round, pull the navel in towards the spine, round the back, round the spine like a Halloween cat. And then moving with your breath a couple of times. Inhale, stretch the front of the body. Exhale, round the spine. And if it doesn't feel good to coordinate, or it's difficult to coordinate the breath with the movement, then just move and breathe. And when you feel about balanced, and it might feel good to finish with the stretching the front of the body again, we'll come back to seated. Make your way back into your tall seat. Then we'll move down into the legs. So let's start off with the right leg. If your foot feels okay to lift or the leg feels okay to lift, then we'll lift. And if it doesn't, you can draw circles on the floor with your toes. Finding some circles in the right hip. And it might feel good to be a little forward on the chair so your legs have lots of wiggle room. And then switch directions. Bring the knee forward, keep the thighs still, find some lower leg circles. And switch directions. Then keeping the lower leg still, find some ankle circles. Switch directions. Point and flex the foot a couple of times. And wiggle the toes or stretch and flex the toes a few times. Release the foot to the floor. Give yourself just a moment to check in between sides. And then we'll move over to the left. Lifting or keeping the toes on the floor, drawing circles. We'll get into the left hip. And switch directions. And keeping the thighs still, we'll move the lower leg in some circles. Switching directions when you're ready. And then finding some ankle circles. Switching directions. Pointing and flexing the foot a couple of times. And stretching and flexing or wiggling the toes a few times. And then release that foot to the floor. Pause for a moment. We've moved all of the parts. Hopefully you enjoyed the quicker warm-up. I'm going to stop the recording here and start again.